Howdy folks, Dr. Ed here with Total Body Healthcare, and I've got your Whiteboard Wednesday thought of the week. We're continuing our month-long study on kids' health and how we can positively influence them. And I want to talk today particularly to you parents out there and the role that you do play in your kids establishing the good health habits that they need while they're younger so that they pay off a little bit later on in life. You know, even as a healthcare professional, educating and teaching people all the time about how to live healthy habits, this is something that we struggled with in our own house with our two boys. Sometimes particularly when they hit into their teenage years, I wasn't quite sure that they listened to a thing that we said. But now that they're into their 20s, I'm happy to report that they're coming back around to some of those health habits that we established on their own. Matter of fact, our oldest, he's out on his own now. He actually comes back to our house and asks if we have any fresh vegetables from the garden. That's really encouraging for me to see. So the influence that we have as parents on our kids really is important. As an example, maybe on the negative side, so my oldest coming back and asking for vegetables on the positive side. On the negative side is the diabetes in today's society. You know, previously we used to call the two different kinds of diabetes. We used to call them juvenile diabetes and then adult onset diabetes. Well, several years ago, they actually changed the name to what we now know as type 1 diabetes or type 2 diabetes. Type 1 used to be called juvenile diabetes. That is a genetic condition. It's something that you're born with. Type 2 is what used to be called adult onset diabetes. And the reason for the name change there was because in the healthcare profession, we started seeing kids with adult onset diabetes. Well, if it's adult onset, but we're seeing it in kids, then we can't call it adult onset anymore. And it's simply because type 2 diabetes is all diet related. So here's these kids coming in with adult onset diabetes because their parents aren't taking care of their diet like they're supposed to be. Guarantee those parents had adult onset diabetes, type 2 diabetes themselves as well. So we do have an influence on our kids, and I encourage you to utilize that influence no matter how many times you hear that, but Dad, stick with it. It's going to pay dividends later on in their life. They'll establish those health habits, and they'll be healthier for it on down the road. I'm Dr. Ed with Total Body Healthcare. There's your Whiteboard Wednesday thought of the week.